last show of the semester. We're so excited. We have a great stand-up show for you tonight. The performers here have worked really hard in a short amount of time, and I can't wait for you to see everything that they've done. It is with great pleasure and a strong feeling of honor that I'm going to introduce our host for the night. Two individuals who've really shaped the way we think of the world as we know it. Please welcome Lil Newton and Pythagoras, our host. Round of applause. Woo! Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. When I first got the invite, I was floored. I didn't even think about, the travel time. It was only 3,000 years to get here, but every second of it, totally worth it. I'm here with Aristophanes tonight, my friend here, not quite as bright as myself, but still happy to be here. So happy to be joined with Lil Newton here.
Oh, hello. Yes, just like my compatriot in science, Pythagoras, I found myself drawn to this event, almost like a gravitational pull. It's kind of a science joke for you
Too funny,
enlightened ones out in the audience. Thank you, Pythagoras. I appreciate it. We've got a phenomenal lineup of people tonight, just cracking jokes and having a good time. Isn't that right, Pythagoras?
You're very right about that. Before we get into it, do you have a little friend with you, Lil Newton?
Oh, well, I actually do, Pythagoras. Just like you've got your pal Aristophanes there, I have actually even Liller Newton.
Beautiful. Almost as groundbreaking as my triangle thing.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, I've received some comments from people in the audience, not a sex thing. Nothing between me and Liller Newton going on. As you would say, Pythagoras, purely platonic. Nothing happening here. Just friends.
Well, you speak for yourself. But with that, I think we can get right into our first act tonight. Our first performer.
That sounds great to me.
Our first performer, Stefan. Get on up here, Stefan. Round of applause.
Oh, okay. What do I talk about? Fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what to talk about. Yeah, no, it's rare for me. Yeah, I'm out of material. I'm in a bit of a predicament. I'll be honest with you guys, because I just started dating someone. Yeah, no, it's horrible. Well, not her. She's great. She's fantastic. I love spending time with her. It's great. But you see, the predicament is that I had so much material just about being alone and being lonely and like my failures with dating apps and just all of that and all fantastic material. You would have loved to hear it, but all of it, I can't use it anymore because now I'm not that. And I don't know what to talk about because it's not funny to hear that I'm in a relationship. It's not funny to hear I'm happy. No, nobody wants to hear that. It's not humorous to hear that I don't pass by the bathroom window anymore with a scowl on my face when I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror. It's not funny. It's not humorous. It's not. It doesn't get the people going to hear that I don't groan anymore when my feet hit the floor in the morning because just the thought of another day of being conscious doesn't cause a visceral reaction in me. It's not humorous. Nobody cares. I talk about how I'm happy now. It sounds like bragging. I hate that. I don't know what to talk about. I guess we can double down with this whole happiness shtick. Yeah, fuck it. Happy Stefan, brand new Stefan, new look Stefan. Let's do it. Happy, only positive thoughts. This point forward, let's do it. I don't know what to talk about. This is hard for me. My brain's not wired like this. Okay. I can talk about this. I remember when I was younger, I looked at my parents. I didn't want to be anything like them. I would see how they just went through life. And I was like, I don't want any part of that. I don't want to be that. And for a while, I thought I was doing pretty good. I was like, yeah, I'm nothing like my parents. But I came to the conclusion, realization rather, that one trait from them did get passed down to me, and that is their sense of existentialism and dread. It's a bit of an abstract concept, but let me give you an example. I remember several years back, I was driving with my dad, and well, he was driving. I was young, and I remember seeing a book on his dashboard, and it's one of those bullshit self-help books. You know, it's like a tidying up or tidying up your life in 10 easy steps. One of those bullshit clickbaity titles. I don't know, but I remember pointing it out. I'm like, oh, gee, Dad, you know, like, what do you need to tidy? You're a pretty clean guy. And he was like, everything. I need to tidy my car, my house, my life, my marriage. I'm like, oh, gee, Dad, I'm 12. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about this man. Yeah, I'm looking out the window. I'm like, oh, gee, Dad, can we get a Happy Meal? McDonald's? He's like, he's not even paying attention to me. He's like, I'm scared to get a colonoscopy, son. You know that? I'm scared of what I might find out. I'm like, yeah, no, I think Kung Fu Panda just came out. I want to get after boys kids meal. He's like, I'm scared that I might like it, son. That terrifies me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the word is. It's 5 syllables. I don't know what colonoscopy is. That's not really a bright story, is it? It's not very cheery. It's fine. I'll be honest, my dad has never opened up to me about colonoscopies, but I do imagine that is something he would say. Sorry for outing myself as a dirty, dumb liar boy. There's going to be a lot of that. I'm just stinky, dumb liar. It's fine. There is another story, actually, about my mom and her existentialism. I remember one day she came into my room. I don't even know why, but she came in, didn't say anything, and she walked in, dropped something. I was like, oh, you okay? You dropped something? And she was like, yeah, nothing. I just hate my life. I was like, what? She was like, everything about it. She was like, everything about it, it's overrated. And then she left. She left. No, she ended on that. She didn't even pick up the thing she dropped. I was like, hey, Ma, you dropped something. You know, you really gotta clean up these messes. You know, I think Dad has a book about tidying up. I remember. That's my time. You look, Stefan. Haha.
Yeah.
Woo. Great work, Stefan. I could really go for a Happy
Fantastic
Meal
stuff.
right now. You put it in my head. Never had one. The best we have is olive branches and roots back home.
I think all I eat are apples. That's, you know, it kind of falls into my lap, if you will. You know, kind of an
Figures.
apple joke. Those enlightened out there, you know.
So for our next wonderful act tonight, see, let me be honest here. I'm a man of mathematics. I'm a man of science. Little Newton, you too, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. And I've heard about this thing called computers. Well, our next act is someone very familiar with computers, someone who has beautifully engineered tonight's presentation. I'm not even sure who I'm talking to right now. I'm just talking to a box right here. Our next performer, who's wonderfully set this all up, is Casey Brennan.
Casey
get on
Brennan.
out here.
Whoa.
Hey everybody, I'm kind of having a rough time with life in general. Old people like to tell me that, oh shoot. All right, we're gonna start that over. Hi, I'm having a rough time, and now it's even rougher. So old people like to tell me that I have a bright future, but the only thing I see that's bright is in the TV screen in my parents' basement blaring at 2 a.m. for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm Casey. So anyways, I think I'm okay with technology, except for what just happened. But yeah, I would say I'm alright. I'm streaming the show semi-well. But, I don't think it's my technology skills that have been really difficult lately. It's my people across the other side of the screen skills. You see, for example, my friend texted me asking for a favor, and I told him I couldn't do it. And he responded, I got it, DW. Now, a normal person would look up DW if they didn't know what it was on Urban Dictionary, or they would take 2 seconds and go, I got it, DW. Ah, don't worry. I took the third option, which is assuming that he hated me and he was saying, I got it, dumb whore. Another fun example of me not knowing what the hell is going on is that in high school, my friend came up to me. She ran up to me. She was texting this girl that she really liked, and she's like, Casey, look at what she sent me. And it seemed like a benign text to me, and I said, what's wrong? Like, I don't understand. And she's like, she left a period at the end of this sentence. And I was like, have I been flipping off people virtually for the past 7 years of my life? I'm so sorry I didn't know what this meant. Anyways, things could be worse, though. At least I passed sex ed. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said that he almost failed sex ed. And I was like, dude, why? It's easy. You could put abstinence for, like, pretty much any of the answers, and you'll probably still get a 65. But he told me, he was like, I'm sorry, I almost failed sex ed. I didn't know where the Libya was. And I told him, well, sir, if you weren't looking at a map of North Africa, you probably couldn't find the Libya. Speaking of genitals, there was a fire in my apartment last year. I'll explain. So, there was a fire in our apartment last year. It was really bad. It was a stove fire. And our ceiling got really, really steamy and gross. So, when my roommate went to go to the hospital and get her finger checked out, which she burned to the 2nd degree, we had to start cleaning up. So I go up to the ceiling and start wiping it off with a Lysol wipe. And I realize I can't clean this entire ceiling. But I did come up with an even better idea. I would, as the comedian that I am, I would leave her a little picture out of the cleanup of the steam. So I thought, lighten the mood, haha, what if I put male genitalia on the ceiling? That's fun. Like, she's gonna come home, this is what's gonna happen. She's gonna come home and she's gonna be sad, and then she's gonna look up and be like, haha, ceiling penis. Like, that's how the story should have went. But instead, the fire safety director came back to check in on us, and he's like, yeah, so we're gonna get somebody to clean up everything, including your seal. Oh. And my suite mate freaking throws me under the bus and was like, it's not me, officer, I didn't do it. So he's looking at me, and I'm like, I'll clean it up. So he looks at me and he says, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. So maybe I didn't pass sex ed either. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, Casey, way to go. I want to do some shout outs from the comment section on YouTube. I am so proud of everyone popping off over there. We've got a message from a Andy Vaga. I think that's how you say it. He says, the Shrek saxophone singer. Of course you remember Shrexophone. Thank you. That is our soundtrack tonight. Thank you so much for noticing. Keep popping off in the chat. Also, the George Lopez references by Katrina Shea. Thank you so much. We're big fans of George Lopez, too.
All right. Pythagoras, one of my rules, got a couple of them, but it's that things in motion need to stay in motion. So let's keep this show rolling. Next up, this is another little gravity joke for you. Very down-to-earth person that I'm introducing up to the microphone. The lovely, the fantastic, the exuberant Julianne.
Hi everyone. So I I've been watching a lot of historical dramas lately, and it's because I pretty much just only watch TV with my parents now. Historical dramas aren't any cleaner than modern day TV shows, but if the sex, drugs, and rock and roll take place in the past, it's somehow easier for Catholics to enjoy as a family. We can pretend that we've left that behind and we've moved on as a species. And I've been watching these shows, and I can't stop thinking about what I would look like if I was in a period drama. And I think that I would probably have long, soft, curly hair and a floor-length nightgown, and that nightgown would have pink little ribbons woven through the cuffs of the sleeves, and I'd have a handkerchief, and that handkerchief would have blood all over it, because you cannot tell me that I would not be the girl who dies of consumption in any historical drama ever. I've got big maidenly energy. Slap me in a casket and call it a metaphor for lost innocence. I'm the character that you can't see getting married anytime soon, but they don't have that much else going for them either. I look like I should be lying on a fainting couch as my a little bit too much older neighbor plays piano for me, and I go, "Oh, do play on, Mr. Mortimer, it heartens me." I'm the girl whose personality trait is good-hearted, but she doesn't have the spunk to last the winter. I'm one foundation shade above, looking like I just got back from my bloodletting session. I'm sure the town physician would take one look at me and tell my mother that she needs to take me to Italy, where the warm breezes will reset my humors. And then I'd have this tragically beautiful scene on the beaches of Italy where I have a shawl and I'm looking over the water at the other girls who get to splash in the waves and enjoy life. They don't know how good they have it. And so I was actually supposed to go to Italy. I was studying abroad last spring, and my trip was planned for the week that the coronavirus hit. And my program director pulled me aside, and he was like, "Juliana, I cannot advise that you go to Italy. There is a pandemic, and it is very, very serious." And I was like, "Wait, just a second." Everything I've ever read and everything I've ever watched has taught me that if there is an epidemic that is very, very serious, I am supposed to go to Italy. They have warm breezes there. What does Spain have? Free healthcare that I'm already signed up for? I'm going to Italy. I did not go to Italy, but I'm just saying, the world's backwards. And on TikTok, I've been seeing people dive into their fantasies. We've got cottagecore and Barbiecore. There's witch talk. We've got bi lesbian pirate TikTok. But where is consumption core at? All this time, I've just been getting more pale and more fragile and rapidly losing my vitamin D levels, but I have no community where me and other C-plot characters who get consumption can come together and gently sway to viral music that heartens us. And let me clarify, I don't want to die. I'm just worried that if I live through all of this, I will age out of being a consumption girl. You can't exactly die as a metaphor of lost innocence at age 23. And if I aged out of being a consumption girl, then I'm going to have to become the I'm married for convenience and don't see why you can't do the same girl. And that girl never gets to go to Italy. And I know you're probably thinking, Julianne, why on earth would you say all of this in the midst of a global pandemic? It seems inappropriate. You're a monster. Well, let me tell you, main characters, pandemics are the only time that C-plot consumption girls get to shine. Also, you better believe that consumption girls are the ones staying inside and taking this thing seriously. We all got swine flu and missed a month of the 5th grade. We may not know long division or American history, but we know how to wear our masks and stay inside, no problem. So don't judge. Either meet me in Italy or catch me at my funeral.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Julianne, for that absolutely sick performance about consumption. Pythagoras?
Thank you so much for passing it over. Great job, Julianne. A little confused. You keep saying global pandemic. Where's the globe? I don't see any globe in sight. Regardless, we're just going to keep going with your third law and move this thing along. So our next wonderfully talented performer is Juliana.
Go.
Hi guys. So I can hear my parents laughing a little downstairs, which is kind of nice. My dad and I are really close. We've always been close, but recently we've been finding some really meaningful, real dumb, real great common ground. So like a few years back, for example, my parents and my brother, we were going to this beach town like outside from home. And so I live in Brazil, gorgeous beaches, just literally no problems can arise. So we decided to bring the surfboards. They surf, I'm not that cool. But we had no car racks, so unless someone wanted to be impaled, Nate jousted. Are you guys familiar with the art of jousting? Like the art of like guys being dudes sitting on horses poking each other with giant things? Yeah, that's what it would be like to sit in the backseat of the car. So we didn't do that. We got 2 cars, thankfully. So my brother went with my mom and all the good playlists, and I went with my dad. Yes, a little, like all of the Grateful Dead songs and a little bit of Tom Waits sprinkled, like driving that train high on cocaine, every 11-year-old girl's dream. So as an 11-year-old, bitches that we all are as 11-year-olds, I turned to my dad and I said, "Ayo, this whack." Yeah, exactly like that. Anyway, this was a 3-hour drive, and all I wanted was a little variety, said the girl with the one Ed Sheeran album on her tiny little green iPod shuffle, that most pathetic thing Apple ever made, and that's saying something. So yeah, so we talked, he called me out, we talked to each other like humans, and we actually found some common ground, which is pretty great. And so like nowadays we talk about music, movies, books. We never decide what to watch together, but like arguing's way better. Anyway, so my dad and I share a wardrobe as well. I have a Les Mis sweater I was wearing earlier, but it's so hot here, I was going to use that for the bit. Sorry, guys. I steal his sweaters and let him borrow them like years later. It's a great relationship. So we're also going to get wave tattoos together because we're hella basic. And because of that beach trip, it was so important to us. And so, yeah, we're basic with our tattoo ideas. You know, like infinity symbol, a wrong Chinese character. Like, oh my God, I love that. Thank it means goose. Those heart-shaped ones that upside down, they say wow instead of mom. So, yeah. So my dad also always cared about me being strong. Mentally, emotionally. He knew I really cared about school and music and other things, and he really stood by me. But he also cared about me being physically strong. Not like bodybuilder, Dwayne Johnson, CrossFit, cult, let's throw Timmy in the lake and pull him by our hamstrings strong, but still strong. Stand up for myself kind of strong. He liked jujitsu, so when I was going to travel alone for the first time, he wanted me to be able to hold my own in case something happened. And since my sole physical training in my entire life was a decade of ballet, to be fair, a jujitsu of dance, like, he wanted me to attend a self-defense class. And like, I didn't even blink. Like asking a 14-year-old girl if she wants to like spend the afternoon beating up a guy, like please sign me up. Man flipping 101. Learn how to flip a man while flipping him off. It was gorgeous. Gentlemen, fathers, pay attention. Pay attention. Teach your daughters how to fight a man. I pray they will never need to put that knowledge into practice, but there's nothing more empowering than learning how. Raise your dragons right. My dad's also very strong and resilient. He had some health complications and he had a few seizures last year. Came back every time. I saved him in his last episode. Most terrifying day of my life. But of course, he wakes up, man looks at me and says something ridiculous like, "Hey, who's playing today? Motherfucker." I love him. My dad's also a very busy man, so often he gets distracted. Last week, he was having a really long day, like Friday, 6 p.m. Man just wants a couch to pass out on. Candy Crush, open, UFC on the TV, glass of hooch, don't talk to me, everything is right in the world. So lovely daughter that I am, I offered him a hug and got a distracted high five in return. Icon, he's my hero. He pulled me into a hug when he realized and said, "You really need higher standards." Well, as anyone can see, my standards are already astronomical, so joke's on him. Thank you.
Hey!
Nice.
Fantastic stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Absolutely. Love anything about flipping a person, putting gravity into work. That's the stuff right there.
Let's bring it back around.
Especially when you
All
said
right.
astronomical. That just put me in the zone.
I was
So
whispering to
great
my
stuff.
audience.
All right, Pythagoras. The next person we've got coming up is actually a new member to Fordham and Stoves, so her material is pretty fresh, man. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. All right, next up is Isabella.
Hey!
Hi. So I've been thinking a lot about like phases and the multitude of obsessions I've had over 19 years of a life I often refer to as a mistake. Now, I'm a sucker for capitalism, which is why I attend Fordham. So when I fall pretty hard. Now, the thing is, there are the basic phases like Dora the Explorer, otherwise known as the Latina Starter Pack. There's Disney Princesses, otherwise known as the Suburbs Middle Class Starter Pack. And in my family, the culprit of cultural erasure. I mean, come on. We only got a Latina princess a couple years ago, and that was through Disney Junior. Princess Elena of Avalor's white savior was the 6-year-old pasty brat Sophia the First. But hey, at least we have Mulan. Oh, Monster High was the go-to rebellious phase for girls and gays still in the closet that definitely listened to Girl in Red and Rakan in Gray and probably runs a moderately decent TikTok account now. And there are the weirder, more niche phases like pigs. I loved pigs so much growing up that I had a pig-themed party for my 9th birthday. There was a pig piñata, pig cupcakes, Pinatail and the pig. My PTA mother tried to actually rent a live pig, an actual living pig for the day. She kept blasting all the mom Facebook groups that are usually filled with subtle brags and minion memes, and she would ask, yeah, is it possible to borrow an actual pig for the day? No, we don't want to cook or anything. My 9-year-old daughter just wants to admire it for hours. Yes, her father and I have been looking at therapists, Shannon. Okay, so you're thinking Craigslist? To which my father would respond, please, dear God, Bern, we're a sensible middle-class family. I'm a New York City lawyer. Please don't do this. I don't know if that's the reason they got divorced over the possibility of a rentable pig on Craigslist, but you bet your ass he didn't come home for a week. Despite the lack of pig feces on the carpet, this pig face produced an event I would assume is similar to a Coachella after party. My older brother, at some point, he came down to get one of these pig cupcakes. And this girl, Erin Egan, she stopped her piggy bank painting and stood up from the head of the table. Why was she at the head of the table when it was my birthday party? Was there some weird 3rd grade power dynamic going on? I don't know. But anyway, she commanded with such a strength that I'll never possess 2 words: get him. So you now have 20-something girls tackling this kid in the living room. Someone at some point grabs the pig piñata bat and starts whacking and laughing maniacally. My brother is crying at this point, Mom, make it stop. And Burr is in the kitchen on her phone going, be careful with them. Let them have their fun. And I think my brother entered a phase of PTSD he's never seemed to let go of. I guess my current phase would be euphoria. And I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere about how euphoria is the Fordham starter pack. Yeah, I'm sure you filled in the links there. I watched Euphoria with my roommate my first week of freshman year. And what an experience. The acting, the lighting, the fashion, the music. Euphoria makes me want more trauma. Not in a self-destructive way, but like in a sexy self-destructive way. Who doesn't want Labyrinth to sing their personal theme song? Labyrinth makes everything okay. Leaving a therapy session and late to class, walk it off with Labyrinth. You just got evicted and have no money in your bank account? Labyrinth. Drug overdose? Labyrinth. Beat Zendaya. But Zendaya also makes me hate my euphoria phase. Now, before anyone starts canceling me on Twitter and starts shoving fan cams in my face, Zendaya is a goddess and she deserves an Emmy. She's great. And that's the problem. I will never marry nor become Zendaya at any point in my life. I was in the shower last night and found glitter in my region and felt an ounce of pride in that moment because I believed that I had finally achieved my euphoria dreams. It was now made solely of White Claws, trauma, and glitter. But like the little pine leaves of a Christmas tree you randomly find scattered around your house months after the holiday, the glitter served as a cruel reminder that no, I will never be Zendaya, and my trauma will forever be gross and ugly. Just like how outside of the holidays, the winter is forever cold and long and tiring. And that's right, your favorite Christmas movie, Elf, is outdated because of that weird scene where Will Ferrell and New Girl sing Baby It's Cold Outside, which is actually about date rape. I'm sure the songwriters of that song thought they were cute and getting away with it too, but they didn't. We caught them. I need to constantly remind myself that I can cry in the shower to All For Us by Labyrinth Feast Zendaya from the last episode of Euphoria all I want, but I will never be Zendaya. And I was a fool that was a CC fan back when Shake It Up was airing. Now Bella Thorne is making these weird, obscure movies on Amazon Prime Video and ruining OnlyFans for everyone. Way to call that a bad investment. Please, Zendaya, I'm only loyal to you now. Make my sadness beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, Isabella, awesome job. I want to take a look at the chat again for a second. I want to thank Sunny, Percy, Maddie, and many others who are popping off right now. Thank you so much. Keep popping off. We're going to keep looking at that chat. But Lil Newton, I just want to, you are a wonderfully accomplished scientist, and I don't want to take anything away from you. But there was a comment that I think I should bring to your attention.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So there's a comment here from Rose, and she says, Isabella is a sophomore, # justice for Isabella. Now,
Right, well,
we don't, yeah, please defend yourself.
You know, Pythagoras, I have to say, I'm brilliant. I am incredibly intelligent. I make rules about the way things fall, which is, you know, as high level as you can get with that. I have to say, not only was that a slip up, but also I can't make a pun with sophomore relating to comedy material, and that's on me. That's my fault.
No, and I think you're totally right, Lil Newton. I actually want to chide Rose here for a second. Yeah, the thing is, Stoves, we're not about your grade level. Whatever age you are, you're so welcome here. What really matters is the ability to make puns with your grade level. So the official apology on behalf of Stoves to Isabella. She's a sophomore, but the freshman pun, Lil Newton, I loved it.
Thank you, Pythagoras. And I must say, it's worth noting that near the end of my life, I actually was, you know, being poisoned with mercury, which caused a lot of eccentric behavior. So, you know, I think that could take a little bit of the blame for anything that I'm, you know, a little wacky on.
You are one wacky guy, Lil Newton. But I think we should stick with your third law again. Our next wonderfully talented performer is Sajani.
Woo!
Hi everyone, I'm Sajani. So I recently went to the finance job fair because I was interested in corporate law. And as a poli-sci major who wasn't really experienced with the corporate world, it was interesting to say the least. So when it comes to explaining why you want the job, they literally use the company as the reason, like not the position or the field. And to be fair, it's not like they could just say, fuck bitches, get money as their reason, but they have to create this company culture. And they'll be like, if you work here, we'll treat you like a slightly less subpar human, but you get a free gym membership and like maybe a stale pret a manger sandwich for lunch. And they have these diversity pages. Wow, a whole page just for us. OMG, you shouldn't have. So these pages are essentially like, we're not racist. We hired one black person. And there's an Asian in here somewhere. Actually, they might be Mexican. But whatever, they're not white, so diversity. I mean, these pictures, it'll literally be like 5 white people, 1 black person, and like a woman. Like, for real, dude, you couldn't have doxed the white people for this page. They're already in all of the other pictures on every other page. You couldn't give us the goddamn diversity page. Come on, this is one of the better pictures, by the way. You know, they have a black man, a white man, a black woman, and a white woman, because that represents all of America, the melting pot. But then I went to this session for this one company, which I'm not going to name, but it was a bank. And this kid had applied for an internship position. So as you can guess, he turned this information session meant for everyone into a pick me, love letter about how much he loved the company. Like, Mans was literally the poster boy of Gabelli Bros. He was wearing a tie on Zoom and had like a European-ish accent with hair that had so much product in it, all slicked back, looking like a whole Lego character. Like, and you just know that he was like full Gabelli. Like, the rest of us had like dress shirts and probably like pajama shorts underneath, but he probably had like the dress pants, the business shoes on, tie pin, I don't even fucking know. But in straight Gabelli Bro fashion, he had to bring out the superiority complex and make the entire session about him. Because come on, who doesn't know a Gabelli Bro that thinks they're better than everyone? But I mean, 5 years from now, I'll probably be working day and night on some random case while he's making billions, fucking his secretary, paying his way out of fraud and embezzlement and tax evasion. So I guess he has a Anyways, the lady literally said she has no power over his application, and he was really out here being like, ma'am, I have my reference number right here. If I give it to you, will you please check the status? She was like, no, moving on. And then, like, after every point, he would be like, I love this company so much. Like, please help me get this. I can get this internship with your help. It's my dream to work here. Like, first of all, buddy, I'm going to tell you right now, just because you were that goddamn annoying this whole time, the only thing she's going to do with your application is shred it. Like, 10 out of 10, he got blacklisted to never get hired there because how annoyed the 2 recruiters. But you guys already know, since they're looking for a token brown person to sit at the table for their pictures at on the diversity pages, at interviews, I'm going to walk in like, I'm very diverse. I'm a first-generation Indian. Not Indian American, because they could confuse that with Native Americans. But yes, look, I am not white. I can do basic math. And just to fit in, I'll make a douchey joke here and there about how poor people are stupid and don't deserve the rights. So yeah, I think I got this in the bag.
Woo!
Excellent stuff. Really excellent stuff. We love hearing about people being able to do basic math. That's really what Pythagoras and I are all about, that. This next upcoming stand-up, actually, you know, on the subject of banks, next up we have Robb. Thanks, Robb.
Does anyone else find irrational excuses to break from diets or habits? I have a huge coffee problem. It revs me up too much. I'll drink 8 decafs looking for a loophole. When that didn't work, I actually remember thinking, as I lit my joint full of ground coffee, it's not cheating if I'm not drinking it. This spring, I needed my ex-boss to file taxes for me, so I'd be eligible for unemployment benefits. And she refused. I was a nanny, and it sucked to have to leave those kids. It did, however, make me feel more connected with the average Trump voter. We were both unemployed, feeling down on our luck. I wasn't on the books, and they were nowhere near books in general. My dad was in prison a while back. I know that's kind of crazy. I got so used to eating vending machine hamburgers during visits. You can imagine my feeling of nostalgia walking into Fordham dining halls. You know it's true. My family has 7 cats, and I kind of think my parents like them better than me and my siblings. I walked in on my mom lecturing one of our cats on the importance of extracurriculars. I said, "Hey, are you crazy? He's only 8. Does anyone else go to therapy? Because I have a great bond with my therapist. We've really connected over the years. It does kind of feel like an unhealthy open relationship. Like, she sees all these other people and never talks about them, yet she's my only one. I've tried professing my undying love, yet she still refuses to say she's in love with me. Maybe I need to move on, but She listens so well. My favorite song as a kid was, you guys know the song Temperature by rapper Sean Paul? So it was my favorite song at 8 years old. Just imagine 8-year-old me singing, well, woman, the way the time cold, I want to be keeping you warm. I got the right temperature to shelter you from the storm. Oh, Lord, gal, I got the right tactics to turn you on. Girl, I want to be the papa, you can be the mom. Oh. So, so 8-year-old me was bragging about his abilities to turn women on and smoothly offer motherhood to the woman he was about to impregnate. 21-year-old me overthinks which shirt to wear for a Hinge date. Now, I know it's true. I know I come on a little too strong sometimes. One time, I was talking to a girl I really like, Alex. I said to her, you know, lots of girls are pretty in a visually pleasing way, but you are an overwhelming life force of beauty that knocks me to my knees and makes me want to cry. And she said, thanks, but can I get your order? Thank you, guys.
Nice job, Rob. I was really touched when you talked about the 8-year-old, when the 8-year-old cat. It really sprung me into thought. So I started thinking about. Oh boy, I started thinking about. Let me use my my transporter for a second. I started thinking about if that cat were a triangle. So if your cat is 8 years old, that's the A side. Oh crap. I should have come up with something where I didn't need two sides. So if you get another cat, whatever that cat's age is, let me know, and then I'll find out what your third cat's age is going to be.
Okay, thank you.
So just let me know whenever you get that cat.
Okay.
And Rob, if your cat was an apple, it would fall.
Lil Newton with groundbreaking discoveries. Thank you so much, Lil Newton. Really shaking the earth. But during Robb's set, there was a last-minute change. We were getting worried here, folks. Our next performer was tiptoeing the line of being tardy, but he was on the right side of the line. Our next performer is the other Robb.
What's up, everybody? Hi, everybody. I just got off from work. It was terrific. I work over at Fordham in the Office of Student Involvement. It's really a special place. We just had a little event for first year sunset dinner. So adorable. What was not so adorable was on my way back to McMahon, the long and treacherous 2 minutes that I had to walk, I noticed not one, but two separate couples where the man had no mask and the woman wore her mask strong and proud. I do not understand, ladies and gentlemen. Why do men not wear the mask? It's either under the nose or under the chin. It could be on the head like a yarmulke or a kippah for Rosh Hashanah. And the women wear the mask perfectly. Tell your significant other to wear their mask. And I was thinking about this, and it led me to the conclusion that the bar for men is so incredibly low. And this is something that I've known for a while. Most recently, I experienced it when my friend texted me that she was hanging out with this young man that she was going on a date with. And she texted, and the text read, "You've spoiled me. I walked into the door tonight because Aiden didn't hold it."
Ooh.
I've spoiled somebody by holding a door? This is common public decency, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hold the door for people who are coming in after us, regardless of gender, race, or creed. Let's leave that door open. What else have I noticed? I recently said, hey, I hope you're having a good day, to someone I hadn't seen in a little while. And I received back a text detailing what a compassionate young man I must be. No, Lucy, I'm just hoping you're okay. And apparently nobody else has really got you on their radar. It's like, I've known that men as an entity was a lost campaign for quite some time, but I didn't know it was this bad. I mean, the bar is low. The bar is like an egg-based food that doesn't make my stomach hurt, ladies and gentlemen. It does not exist. The bar is like more than 4 people in the McMahon elevators right now. Intensely incorrect. The bar is like my savings account. Negative. It's not there. It's non-existent. So now that you have a picture of where the bar's at, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what was that? Oh, I thought I heard something. Definitely wasn't the bar though. I mean, the bar is so low that even when you think someone has slightly raised the bar, that a man has slightly raised the bar, it's really, he's lowered it deep into the depths of the earth. For example, the most glaring example that comes to mind, freshman year of high school, I was having a little bit of a rough morning, woke up late, had a big test coming up, headed into homeroom. And I sat down next to a good little man named Jan Matthew Tometa. We called him JM. And he was like, hey, Rob, you look, I don't know JM well at all, by the way. Let's just put this out here. Hey, Rob, you look like you're having a little bit of a rough go of it today. Would you like a cupcake? And I said, JM, of course I would like a cupcake. Thank you so much. He handed me my cupcake. I enjoyed it. It was vanilla with a pink frosting. Wonderful. I enjoyed it. And I came to find out afterwards that 'twas not a delicious act of goodwill, but rather a mean trick that made me all day long. It was a laxative cupcake, and JM smiled with a grin and let me know. A lot of people ask, did he tell you it was a laxative cupcake after you finished it? Or did you find out? And he did tell me, but I'm here to let you know that even if he hadn't told me, it would not have taken me long to deduce what was happening in the temple of my body. So if I could leave you with a final remark, it would be, please hold the door for anybody, and for the love of God, do not, if you have ever thought about giving someone a laxative cupcake, please do not. Thank you, everybody. I hope to see you at the polls on September 22nd and 23rd. Vote for me for United Student Government, Lincoln Center Vice President. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woo!
Woo!
Phenomenal. Lovely
Nice
stuff.
job, Rob. And let me just say something. This is coming from 2 men of great discoveries. Congratulations on your discovery of sexism. It's very impressive. Very happy for you. Also, we are getting many comments in the chat about there being 2 Robs. And there was the suggestion, someone commented 2 Robs, 1 stove. And I think someone in the video department should get on that. Maybe we can get a new digital short out to the people on the YouTube channels.
Yeah, I gotta say, Rob, that set was the shit, most certainly. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Now, this next person. Now, me and Pythagoras were more, men of science and mathematics, and we stick mostly to STEM, but this next performer is very focused on grammar. Because this next performer is Natalie Grammer, our president. So everybody give it up for Natalie. She's going now.
Hi everyone, I'm Natalie Grammer, but it's ER as in measuring things with gram, which is something in STEM and not grammar as in English grammar. Just some fun facts about me. Another thing you should probably know is my confidence peaked in the 5th grade, and I know this for a fact. It is my belief that the universe gives us each a set store of confidence to use over the time span of our life. And let's say confidence that you're given is a bag of jelly beans. I poured that whole bag out on one day in the 5th grade, all at once, no confidence left after. And you might be wondering, well, what did you do to use all your confidence? Let me tell you. In the 5th grade, I switched from a Catholic elementary school to a public middle school, and I thought, I've got to make my mark. This is my time. This is how my 32 classmates are going to remember me from here on out. I know what I should do. I should leave a roast video where I make fun of each and every one of them, and then make my friends show it after I'm gone so I don't have to face the consequences of my own actions. New schools, let's burn the bridges of the old one before we move on. Thank you. Didn't know what a roast video was. I labeled that after the fact because it just involved me sitting on a windowsill pointing out the obvious about my classmates. For example, one boy named Tristan wore several sweaters on top of each other all the time. And my acute commentary was, Tristan, how many sweaters do you own? You take off one sweater and then there's another one underneath it. What's up with that? And I think I used so much confidence at once. I'll reference Newton again. There you go, Lil Newton. We all know the 3rd law of motion is for every action there is an equal but opposite reaction. And the universe pulled back hard on my confidence and said, let's pull back so hard she doesn't even know if that memory's real or a dream. And that got even worse because there's an incident in high school where I doubted myself so much I lost the ability to perceive my corporeal form. And I have to label it as that because it's the only way that makes sense in my brain of why I would try to ghost a person to his face. If you were all wondering why ghosting is not an analog method, but is a digital technology, I'll tell you why. You can't ghost someone that exists in real life, let alone when they have 4 classes of the 8 with you and they sit behind you in 3. It does not work out well. This poor boy was my friend. In my brain, he was my friend. We were friends, junior year, friendly friends who were only friends with each other. Nothing else but friends is what we were, and I was safe in that regard. We ended up going to junior prom together. I thought he was clingy, but I thought, hey, some friends are just clingy and that's what friends are like. And friends follow you around the whole night, but that's what a friend does and it's fine. And I lied and I told him I had a great time when I didn't because we were friends and I was being kind. And we talked for a year a lot and I overshared a lot, which is what I do with my friends, if you know me at all. So I thought, safe friend box is where this person goes and I'm protected from him forever. But then one day, we both separately did our homework in the library before school. That should tell you what kind of fun I was. And I was sitting at my table and I see him start to walk across me from the door, which is probably a 5-minute walk to my table. And I think, okay, interesting, he's turning towards me and not towards his usual table. Whatever, he's a friend, it's fine. And he sits down and then asks me a question about the homework and goes, hey, and by the way, would you want to get, I don't know, like get ice cream sometime? And I paused and said, yeah, no, sure. If you're wondering why I said yes, it's because he was my friend and I wasn't prepared for this shift switch and our interaction at 6:30 a.m. on a Monday morning in the library while I was catching up on my reading about Europe during World War II. But I told him yes, and I immediately fled. Didn't even have a class to go to yet. I just walked away and was like, oh no, something's in my locker. And then the three paths were to say yes, go with him, which is what I did, tell him, or which is what I could do, say no, and just be like, sorry, we're just friends, that's my bad. Third option, which my panic brain pulled out of the reserves, was there's only 3 weeks left of school. How hard would it be to avoid him completely? And I stopped texting and I stopped Snapchatting and I moved where I sat in the library, but he found me because it's the same school and he sat behind me. So he'd be like, hey, I noticed you pulled back. Is everything okay? Like, we don't have to go if you don't feel like you want to do it. And I was like, no, of course I want to go. I'm just busy. Just busy right now, just super busy. Don't have the time, but you're fine. You definitely exist. I exist. I acknowledge existence. And I avoided him. I did avoid him for those 3 weeks, probably burnt that bridge too. And I know what you're thinking. Natalie, what if that was your last jelly bean of confidence and now it's gone? And I have to tell you, I'm not prepared to deal with those consequences.
Way to go, Natalie. Great set there. Jelly beans are delicious. I can vouch for that. Now, Lil Newton, some sad news. We are winding up for the night.
Really? What, Pythagoras? I thought there was one more person that we might have.
Well, that's what winding up means. Not totally done yet. We're in the I'm going to officially start the process of winding up.
Okay.
But before we do, I just want to give one more thanks to Casey for making this thing run so smoothly, so technologically well.
Absolutely. Pythagoras and I have no idea what a computer is. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
It's really beyond us, but we are really appreciating what you've done. So, with that, please welcome, last but not least, Marielle.
Woo!
Hello, everybody. My name is Marielle, and if you cannot tell from my background, I am virtual for the semester. So I am at home in Missouri, and if you want a peek into what that's like, just this afternoon, my mom and I went to Panera, which in St. Louis we call Bread Co. We went through the drive-thru, and my mom's sandwich didn't have enough avocado on it. So when we went inside to complain, the manager was already waiting for her and knows her by name because my mom has asked to speak to her so many times. So I can never return. Another aspect of being at home for the semester is that I get to hang out with my hometown friends a lot, which is really nice. And I've had the same hometown friends since I was 3. So I went to school from pre-K to 8th grade with the same 19 kids. So my middle school experience was kind of different. We didn't have popular kids and losers. How can you with 19 kids? Like, if someone tried to exclude me from their birthday party, you can't not invite me because no one else will be there. You also can't be popular because we all watch each other shit our pants at some point during preschool. So even though we were all friends and there weren't popular kids and losers, there were, however, definitely cool kids and nerdy kids. And that was defined by what you did at recess. So there were the soccer boys and the soccer girls, obviously the cool ones. There are the Jeremys, the Ethans, the Maddies. Yes, we had 3 Maddies in our class of 19, but Maddie V was my best friend. Then, of course, there were the kids who were part of the LPS club. LPS stands for Littlest Pet Shop, no explanation necessary. And who was I? What did I do during recess? I went to church choir practice during recess. But even though we didn't have mean girls, I do think bullying and getting bullied is a universal part of every kid's experience. So how did we do this? We took turns bullying each other. For For example, when it was my turn to be the bully during deer time, which is drop everything and read time, if you don't remember, I would take my 800-page copy of Order of the Phoenix, slam it down on Jeremy's desk and say, "Hey, Jeremy, guess what? I'm reading this, and you've been reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid for 6 weeks. You're illiterate. I learned that on last week's vocab test, which you failed." When it came time for Jeremy to bully me, he really wanted to get me good. He wanted to get me where it hurts. So Jeremy skipped soccer at recess and joined the church choir, which was my thing, and he got the solo that week. When it was my friend Nick's turn to be the bully, for context, Nick drew cars during recess. And what he would do, he would draw an ugly car, come up to you and be like, "This is the car you're going to drive when we grow up. It's ugly." My best friend Kevin, who now is the president of his frat, and everyone who meets him falls in love with him instantly, he got bullied by everyone because he reused his Kleenexes. When it was my turn to get bullied, Maddie B would corner me in the cubby room in the mornings, yank my Twilight backpack off its hook, slam it on the ground, and be like, "You're Asian." And she wasn't wrong. But despite all the bullying, we loved each other. We were our only friends for 8 years. We bullied and were bullied together. We laughed together, and we even got in trouble together. We were very supportive, this group of 19 of us. So one day during recess, we noticed that the cars Nick were drawing, this was like in 3rd grade, were actually like really good. So we all decided like, "Oh my God, Nick, you're so good at drawing cars. Like, you're so good. You should be the president. That's how good at drawing cars you are. Nick, how do we're 8. How do we get you to become the president? We should destroy our principal's car. That's how good at drawing cars you are." So we decided, all 19 of us, the next day. So in the morning before recess, we went into the cubby room and got our little art boxes and took out our little craft scissors and put them in our little coats to bring out to recess. And then at recess, we lined up and got our scissors. The recess monitor, of course, got her walkie-talkie out and was like, "Yeah, the 3rd graders have scissors." So that got shut down real quick. Nick did not become the president. But when the principal brought us in, we had to skip lunch that day, which I think is illegal, but it was private school, so no, we never got caught. They asked, "Okay, 3rd graders, why did you have scissors and why were you standing in a line looking menacing?" And we just said, "Nick made us do it. Thank you."
Yay!
Yay! Great job, Marielle. Great job, everybody. Another round of applause for every single person who performed tonight.
Fantastic, everyone. Great jobs all around.
Thank you so much for the chat, for popping off. You guys really came through tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. And I think a special message from Pythagoras, myself, and Lil Newton over here. We are so grateful for having been invited to host this. And we just want to thank our president, Natalie Grammer, for that. Natalie. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Natalie, please take it away.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Pythagoras. Thanks, Newton, for making us all, Lil Newton, I apologize, for making us all a little bit smarter, and in addition to making us laugh throughout this show. To everyone watching, thank you so much for coming. If you are a current Fordham student and you want to join Stoves, just show up to one of our meetings. But the way to do that now that we're online is to either DM our Instagram account. We're at Stoves Cabin Crew on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and also YouTube, which is what you're all on. Or give us an email, stovescabincrew@gmail.com. And our next show is all improv, and that will be on Friday, October 16th. Get ready for some virtual improv. Mark your calendars. We hope to see you all there. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Get home safely. Vote Robert Sundstrom.
Vote Robert. Vote Robert.
Vote Rob.
Vote Rob.
And vote.
Pythagoras.